Kev, having had a couple of days to dissect Saturday's draw with Wigan, what are your takeaways from that game?
It was an eventful 1-1. I think both sets of staff, both sets of players, both sets of fans are probably relieved that they didn't lose, but raging that they didn't win. I think in the first half they kind of sat in, made it difficult for us to break them down. Had 2 or 3 chances where I think Joe Whitworth being switched on and aware of it has saved us a little bit. The goal that we conceded is not the kind of goal we want to see conceded very often. I think it was poor overall. And so you go in 1-0 having felt like you were probably had a lot more of the ball. We did have a couple of chances ourselves, but if they'd have taken theirs, it could have been a whole lot worse. And they're a difficult team to break down. They've got some athletic players, they've got some good defenders, they were well structured. At half time, again, unfortunately, we had to kind of say 1 or 2 home truths. But the reaction from the lads, the way they came out in the second half, some of the football that they played, the forward momentum that they kind of grew and grew into was outstanding. Our goal was worthy of any football pitch at any given level. But I think we built pressure, we built momentum, we built a feeling. We got the fans off their seats a little bit more. And how we only scored 1 goal, I'm not sure. Other than credit where it's due, they threw bodies in front of it. We'd be saying the same if it was the other way around. Their defenders threw their bodies in the way of things. The goalkeeper pulled off 2 or 3 good saves. So we dodged the bullet in the first half in terms of chances conceded, but then we were a little bit unfortunate, or maybe a little bit wasteful that we didn't win the game in the second half. So it's a tough one to break down like that, because I think we came away feeling there were more positives than negatives. But we've got to make sure that if a team turns up and decides that they're going to sit in and make it difficult like that, we've got to be braver to play forward, braver to run forward, braver to risk the ball and know that we can always go and try and win that ball back, rather than play it safe and then get frustrated and go a bit too long and hopeful at times. If we're going to go long, it needs to be for a very specific reason in a very specific moment where we've got the numbers and the opportunities that we want around it, not just because we're getting frustrated, it's not quite going our way and we're not breaking them down as we'd like to. So, interesting game to break down. You could argue fair result, but like I say, I think both sets of teams will expect that they or feel that they could have won it or could have lost it.
As you mentioned, a really well worked equaliser, wasn't it? Reece Cole with that pinpoint cross you expect from him, and then Jaden gambling in front of his man to put the ball in the back of the net.
Yeah, but if you go back further, I mean, there was a nice little kind of period of possession. The ball into Imi, his flick around the corner. Reece's timing and quality of cross was brilliant, but Jaden's movement and finish was outstanding. So, that goal beats most teams in terms of how it's created and how it's finished. It was a very, very difficult one for them to stop, but really, really positive on our part. And then that gave us a real in. And from then on, I felt like we were the only team going to win it unless we gave something away stupidly at the other end.
Just a quick word on Jaden as well. He's a goal away from matching his tally from last season already. Are you impressed with how he's developing and how he's taken to his time here so far? Yeah,
I think he's growing. I think he's come in and he's probably got a lot of expectation. He's taken the number 9 shirt, which brings a certain amount of pressure in it. But the pressure for the number 9 shirt here for me is about work rate and about passion and desire and willingness. And I think once he's got to grips with the bare minimum of what that shirt brings and started to really put that in possession and out of possession, the goals will come for him because he's a good player, he's a really good finisher. We do create chances and he's certainly getting the benefit of that now, but that's part of a front unit that is doing well. Josh has got 4 or 5 goals as well. Between the two of them, they've had to carry the bulk of the workload with Sonny being injured. So I think it's great that Jaden's settled in. It's great that he's capable of holding the line on his own or playing in 2, which we did at the end of the Wigan game and had opportunities. So I think good, but there's definitely more to come, and he's just walked in, so I'm definitely not saying anything nice about him now.
That's now 4 games unbeaten as well with that draw, so confidence must be high heading into 2 games this week.
Yeah, and that again, we're building. We've had a rough patch. We know that earlier on in the season, having done okay to begin with. But we have to take every game as it comes. We have to take it on its individual merits, and we have to be prepared and ready to go. And it's about, again, it's a process-driven thing. The results will come if we're us, if we do us to our best of our ability, if we show the best version of us, if we kind of commit to the game plan, if we commit to whatever tactics are put forward. But above all, if we make sure that our principles and our behaviours are on point every game, then I expect us to win games, whether it's a cup, whether it's a league, whether it's home, whether it's away. We're a good team when we're on it, but we have to make sure that everything we do, day by day, hour by hour, is driven towards being the best versions of ourselves.
And the next challenge is, of course, Newport tomorrow in the Vertu Trophy, set up to be a classic cup encounter, really, with a winner-takes-all outcome from that.
Yeah, it's a cup tie. It's within a group, we know that, but it's just a cup tie. It's a knockout. And so we'll go there positive, we'll go there on the front foot, and we're going there to try and win the game.
What are you expecting from Newport? Obviously, when you look at their league position, they're propping up League Two currently, but they have picked up some pretty impressive results in recent weeks.
They have, and this is where we need to learn our lessons. Last time we played a team that I think were bottom at the time of League Two, we got knocked out of a cup away at Cheltenham. So we need to make sure that today we prep properly. We need to make sure that we're clear on how we're going to go out there and try and beat them, and then we need to go and execute that. And they've had a tough start to their season, but they have picked up some decent results, and they are a dangerous team. They do a little bit of both. They can play, they can go long. They've got some good individual players, and it is very much up to us to nullify their threat and make sure we impose ourselves on the game.
I'm sure you're not going to want to give too much away, but what sort of team are we likely to see tomorrow?
Yeah, I can guarantee there'll be 11 of them, and there'll be some guys that can come off the bench and finish the game. So yeah, they'll probably be in an Exeter kit, and I'll stop being like that now. It will be a strong team. It will be a team that's geared up to win the game. There will be some changes, as there often is. There will be other things that we need to take into account in terms of bigger picture, but we've learnt lessons from previous years where we've maybe made too many changes and we've maybe gone a little bit too young in one hit. There will be some youth out there, there will be some exciting young players, but we're going there to win the game, not to let players have a run out and see where it goes.
Overall, what have you made of our previous two matches in the campaign? Obviously a narrow defeat to Cardiff at St James Park, and then that kind of topsy-turvy 4-3 win over Arsenal.
No, it's been a good competition for us. The Cardiff game was a good look at who they are, the kind of quality that they've got, and how they might hurt us in the league, which obviously we've still got them to play twice. I think we held our own in that game, and we're a little bit unfortunate not to come away with something, but good on their part. I think the Arsenal game was a little bit mental, I think probably what you get when you get the exuberance and youth and flair that Arsenal's young players brought, and our lads kind of not necessarily seeing that every week, maybe getting caught out a little bit to start with, not quite starting the game at the levels that we expect, but then the adjustments at half-time made a big difference, the changes and the finishes made a big difference, and I think it showed a real character and quality that we've got to be able to take a few hits and come out punching again. So we were really pleased with the outcome of that, but we were pleased with how we handled some of the setbacks. And again, we know there's going to be challenges coming forward tomorrow night. We know it's not going to be plain sailing, but we've shown that we can lead from the front, or we can come from behind, and that's a good thing to do.
How are we looking fitness-wise as well? I mean, Akil went off with a bit of a knock on Saturday. Is there any sort of update on?
Yeah, I've not had the full update on him yet, but that wasn't a knock in the purest form. It wasn't a twist. It wasn't something that I think is overly sinister. It was just a knock that was too painful for him to carry on. So hopefully that won't be anything too long term. And then after that, obviously Josh is away on international duty. But other than that, we're fit and flying.
And obviously with Saturday's trip to Leyton Orient, looking ahead to that as well, it's a shorter trip tomorrow night, a couple of hours, so I'm sure you're pleased about that as well, and it'll be great to see as many City fans as possible that can make that trip.
Yeah, hopefully it's a local derby by our standards, isn't it?
Pretty
Only
much,
2.5 hours away, so yeah, I mean, it'd be great to get a few there. It'd be great to get through to the next round, and rest assured that the lads will be going out there to kind of represent them and the club at the level that we have done over these last few games.